Well, if you're really into e-bikes, you've definitely heard people talking about DJI's new Avinox drive system. Yes, the giant drone makers are now getting into electric mountain bikes, and everyone's kind of losing their minds over it. After all, it's got 120 Newton meters of torque,
What?
1,000 watts of peak power, and weighs 2.5 kilograms. That's pretty crazy. However, with all this excitement, there's also a lot of wrong info going around. People are saying some pretty weird stuff about the Avinox drive system, which actually has no relation to real-life things. That's why, today, we're here to clear things up. So, grab a snack and let's get started. Alright, first up, there's this idea going around that the Avinox is just a drone motor reused for bikes. We've all seen those comments saying stuff like, "Oh, DJI just took their drone tech and slapped it onto an e-bike. How hard can it be?" And honestly, we get it. DJI is known for making awesome drones, and their motors are no joke. But this isn't some quick copy-paste job. The Avinox was built from scratch just for e-bikes. It's a mid-drive motor with a special gear system, which sounds fancy, we know, but it's totally different from the motors in their drones. Let's put some logic. Drones need motors that are super light and spin really fast to stay in the air. But when it comes to e-bikes, we need power and toughness to handle trails, mud, and hills. The Avinox gives us 105 Newton meters of torque normally, and 120 Newton meters in boost mode. That's way more than any drone motor could ever handle. Plus, it has 10 different sensors, like ones that track how fast we're pedaling and what kind of ground we're on, all working together with this smart tech called multi-sensor fusion. So it's not just spinning fast, it's actually adjusting to how we ride. Next up, there's this idea that the Avinox is way too powerful to be street legal. And honestly, we get why people think that. Well, 1,000 watts of peak power and 120 Newton meters of torque do sound pretty wild. Some people are even saying that's basically a motorcycle, not an e-bike. If you're new to electric mountain bikes, those numbers can definitely seem over the top, especially when you compare them to something like a Bosch CX motor that has 85 Newton meters and 600 watts of power. But the thing is, Avinox is still a pedelec, not some kind of throttle-crazy beast. It's limited to 250 watts of continuous power and a max assist speed of 25 kilometers per hour in places like the EU, which keeps it totally legal. And about that 1,000-watt boost mode? It's not like you're blasting around with that power all the time. It's just a 30-second boost to help you get through steep climbs or tricky spots, not for turning your bike into a dirt bike. We've seen some posts online where people are kind of freaking out, saying it's going to get banned. But honestly, there's no need to panic. It's built to follow the rules. DJI knows what they're doing. They've got a global market to think about. Now, the misconception number 3. There's this thought that the Avinox is way too expensive and only meant for rich riders. And we get where that's coming from. The Amflow PL, the bike that comes with the Avinox, starts at around 7,000 euros and can go up to 12,000 euros, depending on the setup. That's definitely not cheap. So, of course, people are like, who's spending 12 grand on an e-bike? This is just for pros or influencers. But let's break it down a bit. For that price, you're getting a carbon frame that weighs just 19.2 kilos, an 800 watt-hour battery, and a motor that's actually more powerful than what Bosch and Shimano offer. Plus, it comes with a nice app and an OLED display. If you compare that to something like a specialized Turbo Levo or a Trek Rail, which can easily cost $10,000 without packing 120 Newton meters of torque, it doesn't sound that crazy anymore. And DJI has hinted that they might sell the Avinox motor to other brands soon. So, imagine seeing this same motor on a $5,000 bike in a year or two. It's not just for the super rich, it's more like a premium launch that could eventually become more affordable. Then, a lot of people are doubting the Avinox because it's DJI's first e-bike motor. They're like, it's their first try, it's gonna break down. And honestly, that's a fair concern since new tech can have some issues at the start. But DJI isn't some new company figuring things out as they go. They've been making motors and batteries for over 10 years, and the Avinox wasn't just thrown together. It went through some serious testing in Shenzhen, both on indoor tracks and real trails. Plus, early review from places like e-Mountain-Bike magazine are actually pretty good. They're saying the Avinox delivers smooth power and hasn't had any big problems so far. Sure, we can't say it's going to be perfect forever since it's only been out since Eurobike 2024. But DJI has a solid reputation for making quality stuff, and they've got over 20 service centers around the world. So if something does go wrong, you're not going to be stuck without help. Last thing, some people are saying the Avinox is way too much for casual riders. We've seen comments like, "Who needs 120 Newton meters of torque? That's only for pros." And okay, if you're just riding on smooth bike paths, then yes, it might seem like overkill. But when it comes to mountain biking, that kind of power makes a huge difference. On steep and tricky climbs where other motors start to struggle, the Avinox handles it like a pro. And it's not like you're stuck in beast mode all the time either. The auto mode adjusts the power based on how you're riding, so you're not always using the max. That makes it a lot more flexible and easier to handle. Plus, it's surprisingly quiet and light, which is pretty amazing for how powerful it is. That's something casual riders can appreciate too, not just the hardcore ones. So, it's not really overkill, it's more like being ready for whatever comes next. So, that's it. 5 myths about the DJI Avinox cleared up. It's not just a drone motor slapped on a bike, it's street legal. It's not only for rich guys, it's been tested pretty well. And it's not too powerful for regular riders. Basically, this thing is, DJI is after a power drive system. So, what do you think? Are you excited about the Avinox or still not sure? Let us know in the comments, we'd love to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you.